Hey, what's going on, Dave?
Not nearly enough. I'm live from the Columbo National Convention.
Are you really?
I am.
I meant to get tickets there, but yeah, I got a stitch in crime, so you know.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I'm Dino, and that is Dave Plouffe, Marcus, and Carlson. Medical devices. He's Mac, big
I
old
am
Mac.
Mac. You can call me Mac.
Yeah, they were trying to figure out what's Mac, what's Mac. But hey, welcome everybody. Me and Dave, Sunday nights, as always. We are here this week to talk about Columbo. Boy, we're all over the place, Dave, aren't we? One week it's horror, then it's Columbo, then it's Charlie Chan.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, exactly. Wild Wild West. Come on.
All good stuff. It's like going to Disneyland, and you're going to go on different rides. And right now, the ride is Columbo.
Exactly. And this is well, we'll talk about this one. A Stitch in Crime. Nothing bad, but A Stitch in Crime, season 2, episode 6, aired on February 11th, 1973. Very, very good. We get Spock in this. He kind of gets a couple people on here. Gets Columbo in the elevator, pinches him. What is that? What's that pinch again?
That's the Vulcan death grip.
The Vulcan. I'm a big Star Trek fan too. I'm asking you. Boy. Let me say hello to everybody. Sweet Indigo, what is going on? Good to see you here. Harry Scott. Mr. Ed is here. I believe is that Ed Stathis? Connie Clary, Highboy Donuts, to Dennis, RTN Productions, Black Roses. What's going on, Black Roses? I may have trouble with the chat box working. Okay, Mr. Ed. Nathan is here. Night Fright Talk Show is here. So yeah, Tragic Mammal is also here. The Columbo ride at Disneyland kicks ass. There's not a Columbo ride. He's joking. Tragic Mammal. Yeah. So anyways, we get Spock in this. It's I've seen him in Search Of. I've seen him in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He seems to, other than, well, even in Star Trek, he's kind of that monotone kind of, he's not, doesn't seem like a nice guy, but I guess in real life, they said he was a nice guy.
I think he was.
As far as
that's my feeling, but I think it's an all-star group of actors and actresses in this episode. We got Anne Francis. We got Nina Talbot. If you remember her from that episode of The Werewolf of Kolchak.
Okay, hold on a second, Dave. All of a sudden, you've gone back in time to like 1979. It's like you're on TV and your microphone somehow is like same quality as 1979. It's really weird. Tinty. I don't know what's going on. Check 1, check 2. Come on, Dave. Say something.
I'm here.
That's a little bit better. I think it's trying to catch up. Your internet's trying to catch up.
All right. Maybe if I make this screen smaller.
Your megabytes are like running behind you and saying, "Oh, hold up, here we come. We're trying to get there."
All right. Sorry, everyone. Hopefully that'll be.
It sounds like you're talking through an old telephone. So I can deal with it or handle that. It's fine. Like a handheld telephone. What's he pulling out? An old telephone? Looks like it. What Leonard Nimoy was in a werewolf flick? Yeah, werewolf flick. What was that again? Howling?
Hopefully the sound is a little bit better now.
Yeah, well,
there's Kolchak, the werewolf episode. Nina Talbot was in that.
Yes, Nina Talbot. Yeah. I think Black Roses misheard. Yeah. So yeah, A Stitch in Crime.
And
not on par. Go ahead.
Not on par.
Not on par with the rest of what I've seen,
We
but
also
I still
have
enjoyed it.
a nurse, Morgan, in here,
We sure
and
do.
Anita Corso is her name. And I was wondering if you had known her from both old time television, because she was on the Andy Griffith Show, and her horror uh, acting in The Blob.
Anita Corso?
She was the other nurse that was always in the hospital, like
Okay.
checking the.
Yeah, you're going deep. No, I don't remember. You go
Oh,
ahead. Tell me all about it.
that's
Share it with the audience. Hey, CM, what's going on?
That's okay. We'll get there when we
14.4 is slow. What the heck? 14.4 dial-up
uh,
modem. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He assures me he's got the best around.
thought I went up to 28.8, but I may be wrong.
Anyways,
Yeah.
go on. Tell me about this lady.
Well, she, as Harry Scott says, she is Helen from the Andy Griffith Show.
Nice.
Miss Helen, I think she was the teacher,
Love
and
it.
she was also or not episode, but she was famously in The Blob, one of our more endearing horror movies.
Yes, yes. And Helen from Andy Griffith. That's Andy Griffith's girl in there, right?
I
Am
don't
I
know.
wrong?
I have no idea.
Wasn't that Harry? Helen is who Andy Griffith in the show became, I don't think they married, but they were together.
So,
Together. Together.
so I want to go back to your golf talk here. What's not on par?
I, there was just something a little bit off on it. Again, I liked it, Dave.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I didn't like it. It's one of the earlier episodes, but I think maybe the way Columbo came into this episode with he just like it really looked like he just rolled out of bed and
Well, yeah, I mean that's part of the endearing thing about this episode is, he's on call 24/7 when a murder happens, a homicide happens, he's the go-to person.
but it seemed like he was really doing that in real life. I mean, it came across as his acting. He just didn't feel like, doing the show. And he was like, I mean, to see him do that through the entire episode, sneezing and kind of just like lazy. And so he did have his moments when he slammed on the desk and other things like that. But hello, Bubba, and hello, William. But it just seemed a bit off. And maybe because it was all really took place in a hospital and I have white coat syndrome and it kind of bothers me.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the exterior scenes of the hospital
Mhm.
are actually of a hotel here in Los Angeles.
I mean, I figured it wasn't a real hospital either because even the hospital room that they took Mr. or Dr. Heidemann in at the very beginning
Yes.
just did not quite look like, it was a real hospital room. Not that I was expecting it to be a real hospital room, but it is what it is. I've heard he was really like that in real life, Fra Peschel. Welcome to the channel, Fra Peschel. I don't know. Columbo, I think Peter Falk in real life. I don't
Did you
didn't
like
give a fuck.
did you like the ending?
Yes, I liked the ending, and I thought it was very abrupt. Was it the most thought out way to end the episode, like to bust him? Um, I guess maybe you'll say, yeah, that was kind of clever. But I think it was just like at the last minute, I could see them all saying, "Okay, what do we do? What do we do? Suit you. Where? How do we?" And then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, okay. I thought
See,
it
it was
was
the
just
last
really
minute
good
thing.
and very dramatic. I thought it was one of my favorite endings.
Really? Okay. Boy, sometimes we differ very much on what we think and what we like, but that's what makes a good show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought it was lazy, Dave. Anyways, let's move. That's right. Well, and we won't talk about the ending. Let's jump back to the beginning again. We get Anne Francis, Leonard Nimoy. what's her name from the old time radio shows, like you said.
Well, not only that, but Anne Francis is now one of 9 individuals who have played in 2 Columbos, one time as the murder victim and the other time as just a person that's in the program.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Very cool. And Ahava, member for 8 months. Thank you. At level 2 support. Good evening, everyone. She says, shalom to you. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just noticed that the avatar, how did I just notice this whole time it says love? When it's smaller, it looks like kind of a face, like a cartoonish caricature face,
Hmm.
which is weird. But then I bring it up. Now I see that it says love. Love, peace, and prosperity to you, Ahava. Thank you.
You might
So
want
yeah,
to increase the number
you want to increase the number of
on
what?
your glasses.
Oh, time to increase it. No, I think it's good. It's just
All right.
me being me. That's all. Because this is what? This is 1.5. That's not too bad.
Not bad at all.
No, it could be 3, and I could be going, "What, Dave? What?" Can you imagine that? Yeah. Oh, and if you've noticed, I'm going to plug my Lego channel, Dino Brickhaven. I just finished the stream and showed all the interior details and opened up the back, showed the inside with the lights on. It's right here. That's the best I could show it right there. It just fits there. But the front porch, everything is lit up. Dave, that thing looks freaking awesome.
It is. I saw you build it the other day.
Yeah. The 4th stream number 4, I show all the interior because I got done with it on the 4th stream. So there you go. When Dino's away, the ghost will play, Mr. Ed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Haba is Hebrew for love. Well, there you go. Okay. So now I know. Always learning something. So yeah, good people. We got a lot of nurses and doctors. That's the majority of what this is all about. Takes place in a hospital. Take it away, Dave.
All right. So the opening scene, is actually through the streets of Hollywood, passing KHJ radio, in fact, and we have
Right.
this Ghostbuster type ambulance.
You know, Dave's always name dropping, place dropping. Like, I mean, this dude, I think he ran for mayor of Hollywood at one point,
I
didn't you?
I should.
You should, yeah, because you know all the hot spots. You
Yeah,
should be a paparazzi
they're not as good today. I wish I was back there in the 1970s though,
as a paparazzi.
as just the mayor.
Oh, it was the mayor. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be a paparazzi.
No, yeah, no, not today, especially 2024. Anyways, continue on. Yeah, the monsters. What?
It's a Ghostbusters ambulance
Oh,
zips by, and in the back of it we have Grandpa Walton.
I
And
got a poppy seed in my tooth. Hold
all
on.
right, so they're like thinking he has a heart attack, and they bring him into the hospital. We have a cut screen to Leonard Nimoy reading a telegram that's actually to the guy in the ambulance because
It wasn't logical.
very illogical. Thanks, Jim. Then Leonard Nimoy is like reading through this.
Wait. Did you say Jen?
Jim, as in Kirk.
Dave? You mean Paschal is Jim? Or you were talking about somebody else? What's going on? Who's Jim?
Jim Kirk, Star Trek.
Oh, James T. Kirk.
Right. Thank you.
I got you. Oh, I thought you were talking to. Well, thank you, Dave for mayor. Paschal believes in that. Okay, I'm not going to interrupt you no more, but go ahead.
Well, that'll be a first.
Oh, oh man,
And
that's my funnest day of the week.
uh,
Oh, I tell you. Okay, Dave, go on.
all right. So we have a very young Anne Francis who is helping Dr. Heidemann, who is the person who's been brought in. Captain, or not Captain, I guess it's Dr. Spock, Dr. Barry Mayfield.
Yes.
He is basically trying to take control of all these experiments that him and the other doctor are working on. And he wants to go through and publish all their findings early, but they don't have conclusive evidence yet.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember, he said it was what they were working on was transplant projection program. I don't know what the hell that means, Dave.
Well, I thought it dealt with exactly what they were doing in the episode where they were transplanting organs.
Okay, so just organ transplanting,
Yeah,
but transplant projection program. I guess
but it was the idea that they were pumping something into them, some chemical that was making the acceptance rate of the organ higher.
there you go. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess it's Dr. Heidemann, the older gentleman who took on Dr. Barry Spock. I have to call him Spock. I'll say
I do
Dr.
too.
Barry Spock. Uh, is helping him out, but really hasn't done the majority of the research. Has just come in to help him out, do the things he needs done, and I don't think he likes it very much. He seems to be. I mean, honestly, he's a sociopath. If you can kill, without caring too much, and then move on to and kill again, I think that's what's going on here.
Well, very much. I mean, we see a couple murders in this episode,
Yeah.
and he's one of those people who I think, kind of do want as a doctor, someone who's calm, cool, and collected, even with like all these major things going on, such as a heart transplant or valve transplants.
Right, right. And I don't even think they were doing a transplant to Dr. Heidemann. It was just rush him in there, and they were doing something to the artery or the
Yeah, and it was,
valve.
I think, a
Yeah.
valve that was not
Yeah,
functioning correctly.
yeah, and he had to suture it up, and which will take us eventually here to what the entire program is about, but I don't know if are we there yet or no, we got to talk about the telegram too. Uh,
Well, there is a telegram just saying that these are doctors from Germany who are interested in their studies, but they're saying that we need more tests, and it's going to probably be another year. That does not sit well with Dr. Mayfield,
yes. Yes.
aka Spock.
Yes, Spock.
But I wanted to mention as well what a great and cool lab that was. Um, there were monkeys. There was that old 1950s metal desk. Um,
Oh,
it,
yes, I was gonna bring up that when because me and Dave always talk about how the rooms look, the offices look, the furniture, whatever. I don't know what it is about it, but the stain, uh, not the stained glass, the metal, the aluminum or stainless steel medicine case that he locked the stuff in. I want that so bad. That looked so very cool. My father got a vintage, an antique one, but it wasn't like stainless steel. It was like a green, I don't even know what they would call it, bakelite type thing,
uh,
cabinet, something that came out of a school, because he would get a lot of things out of schools. And I got a couple cases that I used to put my toys in. I got rid of them a long time ago, which kind of sucks, but I love the stainless steel case. It just looked so awesome. I'm like, man, to display some of my things in there would be awesome. Other than that, the sets and stuff were just that. I think mainly just sets. Other than when we were at his house, Spock's house, I mean, Dr. Barry Mayfield's house, his office was so cluttered. I mean, you would have straightened it up, but I imagine that Dave was looking at that going, "Oh, very cool," because he had a lot of cool little instruments in the background and stuff from that era. I thought that was pretty cool.
I just remember a lot of paper in that office. And you're right, it needed to be straightened. But
It's
that's also one of the locations we've been at before with Kolchak. In the vampire episode, it was where he meets the realtor, and she's walking through going, "Let me show you Basil Rathbone's house."
oh.
You'll see this home
Unbelievable.
again in a couple different episodes of Columbo. It was, in fact, we did see it in Murder by the Book. It was Jack Cassidy's home.
Yes, very cool. Very cool. Um, Jack Cassidy, we know very well. Yes. So he rushes in for surgery. I mean, right from the start, the nurse, Anne Francis, nurse Martin, Sharon Martin, um, was very like put off by Dr. Barry Mayfield Spock. She just didn't like him. I guess because she was so she liked the other doctor, the older doctor. It was much more of a father figure to her that she just didn't want anybody messing with him, really. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I think that she had a lot of respect for the older doctor.
Yeah.
She liked working with him. She called Spock an opportunist, and
Yeah.
so I think it was a lot of it was she could read him really well.
Yeah, and she knew that Dr. Heidemann had done all the research and stuff like that. So when Spock was sitting Spock when he was sitting at the desk, he opened Dr. Heidemann's telegram, and it was talking about how they I forget what it said, a year or 6 months or something like that. They had to either make a decision or they were on board, right? Is that what
Right.
they said? I
Yeah.
think. And so he was getting a little worried, and I think that's where I think before he came up with an opportunity to kill him, and he was putting off the operation, the surgery or whatever, and he eventually said, okay, let's do the surgery. And I loved how it was just, let's do it, and he let's get in a chair, let's push you in the room, and we're going to set you up for heart surgery. Didn't need to fast or anything like that. I mean,
No, and it was weird because they did it at night.
yeah,
And I'm like, I don't remember any operations happening at night. I remember, you have to fast overnight and you're first thing in the morning.
yeah. Yeah, he wasn't likable. He was cold, obsessed, and well, yeah. Even when he killed, he was much like the character. Although he did laugh in this episode, he was much like Spock. He didn't give off too much emotion.
Right. And,
Yeah,
and CM also had mentioned Leonard Nimoy recorded at least one album, hilariously horrible.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
sure that's with the Bilbo Baggins song.
Yeah, it was. Well, and as far as I know, that's the one I know of. And he did do some mutual radio theater. So he did some old time radio where he kind of like hosted uh, an old time radio show. So and he actually went on tour with those group of guys and did this kind of stuff on stage because he was a stage actor too. Uh, so I think that's pretty cool. He kind of connects with the old time radio stuff.
This
But
is someone who I really would have loved to have met.
yeah,
Not just because of his Star Trek influence,
right.
but also, mainly because of the In Search of, which you and I are both a fan of.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, we should probably do one evening of In Search of, or an In Search of episode or two or three.
Oh yeah, I'm all for that. I would love to talk about that. It brings up a lot of different sidetrack conversations that can be brought up. So I definitely like that. And Invasion of the Body Snatcher. I thought he was a doctor in that movie, the 1970s movie. I forget what year, 76, somewhere around there. But it was the remake of Invasion of Body Snatchers and or
Do you,
Body Snatchers.
do
Go
you
ahead.
like the remake?
The 70s version with
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland and yeah, I mean, I think that's my favorite out of all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I, I,
very, very good.
I tend to agree.
And Donald Sutherland, who rest in peace, he
Okay.
just passed away not that long ago either. So, but yeah, you had him. I forget the female lead in there. She was fantastic. Yeah, everything about that movie I just love. It's my favorite for sure. And there's been a few adaptations of that movie. But then the telegram kind of comes in, and Nurse sees that. I like how he just like spits it together again, the telegram. They'll never know I open it up. But as soon as she walks it out, because he says, go give it to Dr. Heidemann, it opens right up. And
Yeah.
she's immediately like onto it. I think a little too much. Like immediately she knows. he's in on something. Something's fishy's going on here. But she didn't like that. He probably opened it. And then she ran into the orderly, not the disorderly orderly, which I really wish he was in this episode.
That would have been Curly, right?
Jerry Lewis. That would have been great. And falling through the doors and going, nurse, but she asked him, how long ago did you bring this? Not this is even relevant. But he does say, oh, I bring it up an hour ago. So she knows it's been sitting up there for an hour. And
but the thing is, that's not a big deal because he obviously wasn't at the hospital.
Listen, hard to get action out of this episode. I'm sorry. But,
it's okay. It's all right.
Columbo has a cold. He's sick.
So hospital or operation happens. Operation's a success. We see all the breathing apparatuses. We see water and blood swirling together.
That was weird. I was looking at that hospital scene, the surgery scene, and I'm like, does that much blood come out and go into this? Like it must have been like a 3-foot cylindrical tube, and even the IV started as soon as it started going, it started bubbling. Did they need to oxygenate IVs back in the day?
I have no idea.
I have questions, but it's fine.
Maybe it's like those old Hammer horror movies, or even the older pre-code movies where you have the scientific instruments all set up. And
they didn't really know, so they were making it. Hey, make that bubble.
Yeah, it was just kind of interest for you to watch.
Yeah, let's have blood back up, up into that 3-foot high tubular Tesla coiled thing. No, it was cool. It was interesting,
but as the operation goes, the nurse picks up suture. And she goes underneath the lamp and she looks at it and she feels it. And even though it's the right color, it's the wrong texture. And later...
Weird thing for her to pick up on. I don't know.
It was a little weird, but she was also acting weird the entire time. She was really watching Dr. Mayfield. She didn't want him to do anything to cause her hero to die. Yeah. And so he'd ask for a clamp and he'd have to hey, pay attention. What's wrong with you? And so she was just looking for something, and she finds this suture. And she's like, this doesn't feel right, doesn't look right. And she basically confronts Spock and says, what if you've done something that he's going to die later? I mean, she's already onto him.
Yep.
Because this is going to be dissolving suture, and the valve is going to fail, and he's going to die.
Yeah, there's very strong permanent suture, which is the thread you use to close up wounds and stuff like that. And there's dissolving suture, which can last up to 2 weeks or longer or whatever until the wound heals or whatever. But if you're going to do dissolving sutures for a heart, it's pumping, it's working, it's gonna be a lot sooner than that. So what an ingenious way to kill someone.
It is
quickly become a surgeon.
And again, Spock is, Leonard Nimoy does a great job saying, you're acting hysterical. Why don't you go to the police with this evidence? Maybe they'll listen to you. But for now, I need you to file all these papers or bottles or whatever.
Yeah.
Cut scene, and she's leaving at the end of the day, which is probably
parking garage,
early hours of the morning, and out of the shadows comes
in the parking garage. Yeah, I would think a good murder happens in parking garages. It's like hidden. Cement all around. Places to hide.
Garages.
Like in Seinfeld, there's always nooks and crannies, places to pee. You
There
gotta go. Don't be scared. What are you, some kind of wimp?
Remember, that is illegal.
Well, I mean, come on. Well, what are you going to get if you don't go to the bathroom? You're going to what is that?
I don't remember the disease that they listed.
Hydroresismosis. Jerry had a name for it, but yeah, it's a thing. You can really,
And luckily, Anne Francis didn't have a goldfish in a plastic sack.
Oh my god, what a scene! The parking garage episode for Seinfeld. But yeah, he's standing over in the corners, and he comes out, and he's just staring at her with the gloves. You think she'd run real fast because he's got a tire iron in his hand. Hey,
It is. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She had that concerned look, but that was really about it. And I have to admit, those were some really cool gloves.
I did like the gloves. I would love to start doing the shows with gloves. A nice pair of black gloves. I don't think anybody would mind.
All right.
Yeah, I'm getting a really nice pair of black gloves. Not that you guys would care, but I think it's a good look. I'll do this quite often. I mean, just for
But
effect.
then we wouldn't be able to tell you were doing that.
Yeah, I mean, no evidence. The gloves actually gives a whole lot of the it gives away things to Columbo because you got to have fingerprints. So, I mean, I would have thought at least he would have put fingerprints of somebody else on there or something. But, as Columbo says, when a little later on, we'll talk about it. I'm just talking about fingerprints now. When you find no fingerprints and you could tell that they were wiped off, but it's planted evidence, something fishy is here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's all I got to say, Dave.
All right. Should we bring Columbo into this episode?
What's that? So, go again?
Should we bring Columbo into this episode?
Say there again. Yeah, we should probably bring him in. He comes in so sad and tired, but this is the funny scene. This is funny. A couple funny things happen in this episode in the parking garage. So go ahead. Oh, you want me to tell? Okay.
Yeah,
so he shows.
Yeah,
he shows up at the scene. They're in the parking garage. The police are there. They're investigating. Oh, the woman's been killed. They have all the evidence and stuff, and he's just all down and looking war torn. I guess he goes, yeah, my wife's been sick. She's got stomach issues, and I've been up all night and stuff like that. And he's got a bag of hard boiled eggs. I love that.
Still in the shell.
In the shell, and he starts hitting it on the car, and he's breaking the shells, and they say, got to watch the crime scene. We're trying to keep it clean. He goes, oh, sorry, like Columbo does. But the funny part was when he's confronted a little bit later with the person evidence and all that, and they say the only thing they took are the keys, and before the police officer moved back, he had the car iron in where it hit over the head, and you don't know if there's blood on there or what. But Columbo goes, hold on a second, and he takes his hard-boiled egg and he starts to crack it on that car iron that he was holding, and I'm like going, how disgusting! But that's how it was in the 70s, Dave.
It was disgusting in the 70s, and my favorite part of the parking garage myself was seeing
before germs.
Seeing all those palm trees in the back. And also in that scene, he keeps ordering breakfast. Wants someone to bring him coffee. The only thing that they're able to find, though, is orange juice. And that is brought to you by Michael Lally.
Michael Lally.
Who is that famous person who's in basically all of the episodes with Peter Falk and plays a different part in each of those.
Oh, yeah. He comes up to him. You could tell he's the older guy. He does stand out too.
Yeah.
With the hat, he's got a nice hat on. Brian Kirkham. No, that is a Fisherman's Wharf mock set. So it's built with pieces, but it's not an official Lego or anything like that. So it's not Anton's. But it's really cool, and I'm thinking of putting it into the around the water area. So we shall see. Anyways, there you go. Tragic mammal, uromycetitis. That's what you can get if you hold your pee too long in a parking garage or anywhere. But Jerry said, I had to. I could get uromycetitis poisoning or whatever. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, let's keep going. Get Italian leather. Oh yeah, I see him. It'll be nice gloves. It'll stand out because it'll have the grooves. Because I like that about Dr. Barry Spock in this episode. His was brown though; it was tan, but it had the leather stitching along the thing. You know what I'm talking about? That 70s look, Vidal Sassoon look, something like that.
That's Vidal.
It's not Vital Sassoon.
No. But we're gonna follow Dr. Mayfield over to Sharon's home, where he took the keys and he's breaking in and he's taking all of the plates and the thermoses and all of that out of the cabinets.
It was
And
such a half-ass job, but
one of the things I wanted to point out about her apartment, did you
yeah.
see those fluffy bar stool cushions?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
Well,
Is that something we see in Rhoda or Mary Tyler Moore?
I'm trying to think. Well, listen, it's just of the fashion. I mean, you got a hard stool. If people are there to sit for a prolonged period of time and they got no cushion, down there, if they don't got something to slap or hold
It
on
looked
to.
like
Sorry, Dave, I'm going too far.
like an animal.
It could hurt.
It could, but it could also hurt if you sat on an animal. And that's what this looks like.
Listen, I
You take them
I
out,
didn't
you
like
brush them. What if someone spills something on it? You can't just put that in the washing machine.
No, you're right. Listen, I didn't like the interior decorating of that apartment either. It's very depressing. I wouldn't have liked it. No. And I kind of dig some of the 70s looks and stuff, but that I didn't care for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Even the cushions. I mean, he's running around, he's knocking off cushions like this. Like they're feathers. Like he's just doing a very lousy job at just dirtying up the place. But enough to make it look like, oh, somebody came and went through her stuff.
Yeah. Jack Cassidy could have done a much better job.
Oh, yeah.
Because he really enjoyed when he destroyed an office, man. It was like bookshelf, he had a great time doing that.
It's 21-13-10 old fishing store. I have the same set. Awesome, buddy. Okay, cool, Brian. That took a while to build too. I'll tell you that much. Anyways, yeah. So he's just setting things up, and I guess at the very end, before they cut scene, he brings out a couple vials of morphine.
Right.
Which at first I didn't know that it was morphine because they didn't show. I even paused it to see if I could tell what the scientific name of the vial was. It just said 0.5 0.00. I couldn't make it out, so just letting you guys know. But yeah, it's morphine. He's going to set it up later when they come back. We'll talk about where they find it. But anything after that, Dave?
No, now we're back to the hospital, and Dr. Mayfield is just showing up for his work day. He is calling in to make sure his appointments are on schedule, and his clock on the desk is winding down, so he needs to wind it.
Yeah, and at the same time, he gets a phone call letting him know that the nurse has died.
Well, yeah, his surgery has been postponed.
Yes.
And he's all like, why is it postponed? And he's all, no, Sharon, I haven't heard anything. And they tell him at that point that Sharon's been killed.
Yes. And he didn't. Someone, hello. And yes, tomorrow is Harry Scott's birthday. So be sure, everybody, to wish Harry Scott an early birthday or a birthday tomorrow night.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Harry.
Yeah, I'll definitely have a stream tomorrow night, and Harry Scott will probably be in the title of the stream tomorrow night. You get your own stream tomorrow night, Harry. Happy birthday to Harry. Early birthday, 61. Man, you're young. Let's go run some laps, Harry, or go swimming. I don't know.
Swimming might be better.
Swimming's okay.
It's summer.
Mine is pretty much done for the day, says D. Very cool. Okay, anyways, let's continue on. So yeah, he Columbo comes in, and of course he points out, you seemed very calm. It didn't really jolt you at all when you were winding the clock up or whatever, and catching him in on that.
Well, I did want to point out too that when he's first told about Sharon dying, he actually seemed really like, "Hey,
Oh yeah,
this is awful. I feel horrible about it," even though he's the one who did it.
exactly. He was pulling it off good with nobody in the office. He was really like, "Oh my God, no!" So yeah, it was his acting coming through. That's for sure.
But then Columbo opens the door,
Yes.
comes in again, kind of disheveled,
Yeah.
and you'll notice on the door of his office there's no nameplate.
I
At
didn't
the
know
very
that.
at the very end of the show, there is a nameplate.
Oh, she's Dee's sharing her. Oh, and there's a nameplate at the end. Well, did you notice speaking of that,
Yeah.
the telegram? It's spelled Heidemann wrong. It's spelled
Oh,
at Hiedeman, and that's not
interesting.
how in IMDb, and the credit is HID.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's different spelling. Yeah. So, lots of birthday cake all around. Boy, feeling stuffed already. Thank you all for the well wishes, says D. Okay, so yeah. Then doesn't he go to the Dr. Heidemann really, really quick after that? He walks out the door, or am I wrong?
They walk out together, and it's kind of fun. This is one of the funny parts where Columbo's all, I feel uncomfortable. It's embarrassing, but I faint in hospitals. Is
Yeah,
there anything I can take for that? And Spock, of course, says, that's not uncommon, but there's only one thing you can do, and that's stay out of
stay
hospitals.
out of hospitals. Yeah, that was pretty funny. And that's good advice. Yeah. I mean, if it, I don't go into them, I stay out of them. And then I think the next thing we do is we see Dr. Barry Spock. He's throwing a big party, right? Did I miss something?
They go and they go back to her apartment that's been ransacked, and they find the morphine.
That was before the party. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. You're
Just
right.
right
Okay.
before the party, and then we're at the party. But
Okay.
I want to just mention the music that's being played when they're at the party, and they kind of see Columbo's car driving up the twisty road. Is that that's one of my favorite songs, and you'll hear it in the second episode of Columbo as well. It's played at the very end of the episode.
Okay. What is that?
It's just the tune that's played is
Okay.
really kind
Oh,
of
they
cool. It's just kind of,
double played it.
yeah, it's just a fun song.
Hello, Chris W. Good to see
Hi,
you.
Chris.
My son's birthday is tomorrow, says Andrea Black. Well, happy birthday to him.
Well, we
Happy
should have
birthday
just
to
done this
him.
tomorrow and wished everyone a happy birthday.
Everybody, happy birthday. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, and so they go to the apartment, and they find out that there's two morphine vials underneath the sink, taped around at the very top. And he gets it out, and I love how he brings the vials out, sets it on the table, and the fingerprint guy is still there. um so interesting that back in the day they got how he wipes the powder on there real quick, and he blows on it. Simple as that. Yeah, just, you got some flour in the kitchen.
That was very professional, by the way.
And you could tell he goes, yep, no fingerprints on there. And so, there should be fingerprints on there. That's for sure. So that's a overkill with an O. Yeah. And he uses his little brush. Yeah. Love that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And he says that, and he'll end up confronting Dr. Barry, because now we're at the party. Big old party going on. I mean, all of the Hollywood elites are there. Not really, but the doctors are.
the doctors, some of them are having kids, some of them are talking about how successful their business is. But there is one guy who is allegedly at the party.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. He's
Okay.
just listed in the credits as a party goer, and his name is Noble Kid Chisel.
Okay.
And this is a person who has been in basically 300 TV shows back in the day, mostly, of course, Westerns, one of the early stars of television.
Okay.
And again, I love how they bring these famous people forward into, these current day programs and have them as like background characters.
Yeah, and you would never know it if you don't look at the IMDb, and
Right.
find out about it. But he's one of the party goers, and yeah, if you look at his IMDb, he's an old time boxer, kind of, black and white photograph, very young, from probably the early 40s. It looks like the picture, but yeah, very very cool. Hey, WTF Horror and Sci-Fi, what's going on? Wait, is it Dee's birthday today
I think
or yesterday? Well, anyways, happy birthday to you too. I was a little confused. I was looking at everything.
it's
Go.
everyone's birthday, it seems like.
Happy birthday, everybody.
And
Happy birthday, WTF. Happy birthday, Black Roses.
don't forget Connie.
Happy birthday, Connie. Happy birthday, Ed.
D someone else that says, what movie was it in?
Happy birthday.
Where to get fingerprints, they shaved graphite pencil to get the fingerprint dust. That was the Columbo Cruise episode. I don't know the name, but Robert Vaughn is in that episode.
Huh.
And they they're out to sea, and they shave basically a pencil down and make him put his fingers into the graphite to do a fingerprint print.
Interesting. Okay. There's speaking of that, I mean, Sherlock Holmes had some very inventive ways of getting fingerprints through chemical analysis, like some kind of acetates and stuff like that. And he did some very interesting experiments to bring out the fingerprints.
Well, you know why?
Well, he was a genius.
Yeah, it's Sherlock Holmes.
He's Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. Have some cake. Happy birthday, CM. Happy birthday, Sweet Indigo. My birthday is Monday tomorrow, Sweet Indigo says. Are you BSing me, Sweet Indigo?
No, she said that earlier.
What the hell? Happy birthday to everybody. Yeah, no, it's my birthday too. Yeah. Dave's is 2 days from now. So it's funny how everybody has the same birthday around the same time on the channel. It's weird how that works.
Scary.
It's like they say when you get a group of women in the same household. Okay, I'm not going there. Anyways, what's next, Dave? I'm out of it today. I think I've
Kolchak is next.
taken too much. What is that? NyQuil? No, I literally didn't take nothing. This is me. But
how about we go to the scene where they're walking along the pier?
Why don't we, Dave?
All right.
Yeah.
So Nina Talbot, looking beautiful, by the way, is Sharon Martin's roommate.
Yes.
And
you would notice her face too. She's one of those women that you'd look at and you go, "Yep, I seen her on something." Sorry, Dave. Dave's tell is when he takes off his glasses and scratches his hair. Yep, Dino's interrupting me again. I'm trying to get a thing out. Here I go.
Thank you.
You're
All right.
welcome.
So what's great about this episode is as they're walking down, you can tell it is a natural episode where it's not like a closed set, because there's people walking opposite them. And one of the women, she's like, "That's Leonard Nimoy." It is great. And
that's funny.
Yeah, he's basically, asking her, try and remember, did Sharon date anybody? Oh no, she never dated much. But what about that one guy from the VA? Oh yeah, there was a guy from the VA. I don't remember his name. Wasn't it Larry or Sherry or something like that? Oh yeah, it was Harry. Harry's
Anderson or something. Harry Henderson. No. Harry Henderson?
Harry Alexander.
Harry Alexander, Harry and the Hendersons. Yeah, he was on a getting rid of Bigfoot. But yeah, that's funny. They must have just shot that, and she noticed Spock is here. What's going on?
Oh, totally. It's such a great, kind of background person just
Yeah.
to watch. But during the whole time, Nina Talbot, she's just her arms like right in with Leonard Nimoy, and her eyes are sparkling, and she wants to marry.
Oh yeah, she's like, wow, you called me.
Oh yeah,
She got all dialed up and stuff, and she was ready to take him back to the apartment for some nightcap.
100%. Except it was during the day, so it was a day cap. And
Because at the end she did go, "What now?"
yeah, he goes, I guess we're gonna have to get you home.
And
Oh,
her face, did you see her face?
face drops.
Yeah, she's like, "No way." Oh, anyways, that was funny. That was
Did you
funny.
also see that Mercedes he was driving?
Yeah.
So cool. I would love that car.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I like in life, but just can't get it, Dave.
Wouldn't mind Nina Talbot either, but she's 93 now, so have to pass on that.
Well, I mean, you can name drop though, Dave. You could say, "Yep, had her."
One thing,
That's not appropriate to say, Dino. Anyways, go ahead.
what is a little freaky when she goes back to her apartment,
Ricky.
there's a sneeze from the bushes, and it's Columbo, and
He's hiding in the
he's
bushes.
he was a peeping Tom.
He was.
Checking that scene out, and he's all, wasn't that Dr. Mayfield? Well, yes, it was.
Perfect words, peeping Tom. Because it's not like he was just hiding around a corner or something. He was behind bushes that were very not thick. And he's like, look, yeah, it was kind of funny. I like that. That was good. But yeah, he questions her and asks her about, oh, wait, what's going on here? And she's like, oh yeah, he called me. He was worried about me. And he was trying to get some information. He ends up finding that, nurse Nurse Martin, who's dead, used to help out with the veterans and addiction through some of the veterans, and was going out with Harry. What's his name? Yeah,
Alexander.
Exactly. Was going out with him, and there was a mix-up there too, because she said he brung it up, and then the next day when he goes to encounter Spock, he talks to him. Columbo talks to him about that, and he doesn't say he brought it up. He goes, "Oh yeah, she mentioned it." You know what I mean? So that's a slip up right there too. Immediately my brain would go, "Yeah, I'm on to you."
Oh yeah, I think pretty early he was on to Dr. Mayfield.
Yeah.
One of the things I found interesting in this episode was to battle the was it hiccups that he was having, or sneezes?
Well, sneezes, yeah.
So she's like,
Sneezes are,
yeah, you got to hold
hiccups
your
are.
breath, and you got to take 7 sips in cadence, and then
That's what you do for hiccups, though, not sneezes. So I didn't understand that.
Right. What was weird about it, and then I thought this was rude of Columbo. He's like, I need a tissue. And she's all, oh, let me look. He goes, waiting. And she finally hands him a tissue.
Yeah, no, it was very odd. How do you rank Spock in this episode, as from what we've watched so far, as a criminal who either was really doing a good job at evading Columbo, as opposed to like who we've seen in the past? I mean, so far, David Cassidy.
That'd be Jack Cassidy, David.
Jack Cassidy, David Cassidy, somebody different, totally different.
Oh,
What is
related.
wrong? Yeah. But yeah, no, I think he doesn't rank too high though. I don't know if it's writing, if it's the way he was directed, but
I will tell you, and thank you, Chris W. I will mention that I didn't think the acting of Leonard Nimoy was all that great. He played a very solid character throughout,
Yeah.
but he wasn't like Jack Cassidy, where his acting was fantastic.
Yeah.
It wasn't William Shatner, who we will see in a couple of months. His acting is fantastic. He plays just a very plain character, and there's not much asked about him except to stay calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I can't wait to see James T. Kirk in a Columbo episode. He probably had to do it because Leonard Nimoy did it. And
Yeah, and he actually does 2 episodes, one from the 90s, which we will probably not cover,
thank you.
but the other one is a must see. It's called Fade Into Murder, where he plays a TV detective, very much in the fashion of Peter Falk.
Nice. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's Peter Falk, and he's trying to beat Peter Falk.
He's being him, and they're fighting, like pushing
Oh yeah,
against.
it's
No,
really
that's
kind of cool.
listen, Chris. I like plants too. I even more than Dave.
That would be hard to be believed.
That would be hard to believe.
Is I
No,
mean,
I listen. You got me beat. Probably. I do love plants, but
without a doubt.
you most certainly have the knowledge of plants, probably more so than I do. I've grown up around plants my whole life, but you probably still know more knowledge than me. Hell, I can't even name an actor's,
Yeah, but
name.
you've got your fish
David Cassidy, Jack
aquatic
Cassidy.
stuff.
Well, even that, I don't listen. You ask me the species name of the fish in the tank, I'll go, hey, he eats algae. I mean, come on. Anyways, okay, so where are we at?
Gold.
It's just gold. But yeah, Dave's he goes to Hawaii quite often. He's a big fan of Bing Crosby and Bob Hope.
I'm always on the road.
Thus the shirts. He's ready for a cruise at any moment.
Yep, let's go to
He
Bali.
called off. Dave's out the door. Doesn't even need to change. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm hoping they'll redo Charlie Chan's Murder Cruise and they'll ask me.
Oh gosh. Can you imagine him tackling it? Listen, I don't even want to talk about it.
All right.
Tackling these old things. But anyways, yeah, where are we at? I'm kind of lost. You were talking about hiccups and sneezing.
Yeah.
Did we get to the party, or are we past that?
We're way past the party.
The party was kind of cool though, because he's sick there too, and he's just starts helping himself to the food.
Yeah, he does. He starts eating, and he's all, "Do you have anything that's just plain cheese?" And she's all, "Yeah, it's over there." And he starts eating, and he's always eating. And then when he's hanging out with Spock, he goes,
At
"Oh,
the table.
so well."
Yeah, he immediately goes, "Yeah, you got something for my stomach, an upset stomach." And it's funny that he goes into his office. That's where we see the messy office, and he gives him 2 pills. He goes, take these 2 big pills. Who knows what they are? And then he gives him a prescription too. Nice quick diagnosis. Doesn't know what the heck's going on. Just could be acid indigestion. I was curious what he was going to give him. They should have said what that prescription was.
That would have been great, but we wouldn't have been able to read his writing.
That's true. Yeah.
And
What
it's
is Spock?
really cool that you've got like a 70-year-old Christmas cactus.
He would have what? A 70-year-old Christmas.
I have the Christmas cactus. My dad gave my grandma in 1952. It's that old. So it's like 70 years old. I'm sure it's like gigantic, and I'm sure it blooms incredibly well.
Nice. What is a Christmas cactus?
It's sometimes called a zygo cactus. It has flat leaves, and it kind of like every 2-3 inches, a new leaf will come out, and it'll be like at a 90-degree angle. And then it blooms a kind of almost like a trumpet-shaped blossom that's like trumpet, 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 usually pinks, purples, whites. and you'll see a lot of
Christmas shape or no? Just
no, it's actually
because
a
of the color and the.
hanging succulent that blooms at Christmas time.
Nice. Okay. See, Dave knows his stuff. So I had no idea. Yeah.
Sometimes they call it a zygo cactus.
Yeah. And what else is there? That's the scientific name, zygote cactus, right?
Yeah, that's the Latin name for it. But it's it's really cool, really popular, and there are people who like keep them generationally.
If this kind of talk gets you going, get you all dreaming at night, please go over to Dave's channel. It's in the description below.
Yeah, if it gets you dreaming at night, don't go to my channel. You need some serious help.
Dave, you wouldn't believe what some people love. And, just hearing you talk the scientific names of rose bushes, which happens over there, they could fall in love,
Possibly. And
So,
you always want to name your plants, because if you don't, it's like your friends. You're not going to kill your friends. So that's
right.
why you want to name your plants.
Yeah. So go subscribe to Dave's channel, and also go to subscribe to my Lego channel, Dino Brickhaven. Listen, I'm playing old time radio shows as I'm building these sets. So it's very soothing, calming, and kind of relaxing. We have fun over there, right, Harry? Right, Chris? Everyone else? WTF's been over there. Yeah, let me take a sip. Catch my breath.
All right. And since we're after the top of the hour,
Oh,
how
yeah.
many thumbs up do we have?
Oh, probably not that many, but let's go see. We have, yeah, I was right. 36 thumbs up.
Only 36.
Oh, listen, we've only most of this show we've had 18, 19 people watching. So I'm glad there's 26. Well, now we're down to 26. Lego plants, the best of both worlds. Data. Yeah. There's some really cool potted succulents. They got a chrysanthemum, Dave. Lego plant that looks really, really good. Please hit that thumbs up button, you guys. Please hit that. I don't know what to say except next week I think is the Kolchak, right?
I hope so.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Other than that, me and Dave just have fun talking about this stuff. Yeah. Dino Brookhaven is one of my favorite channels I've ever been to. Thank you, Chris W. I really appreciate that. That's why I wish I could get more people over there. They think, Legos, what? I don't want to see no Legos. Listen, it's a relaxing scene. I mute my, and then I play some old time radio. Change it up. Play some stuff I don't play here. I stream for about 3 hours. It's a fun job, man. It's fun.
I am amazed at how many pieces some of those kids have.
Oh my God.
I mean, like thousands.
I know. Well, the Eiffel Tower is like 4 feet tall and has like about 10,000 pieces.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Well, the Dark Tower I built had 4,000 pieces. So can you just imagine? And that was like 36 inches tall. Like it was just out of screen view. It was huge. So anyways.
All right. So just to give you guys a heads up, July 28th, the next time we meet, we do have Kolchak. The episode is called Chopper, and it is episode 15. So after that, only 5 more episodes left of Kolchak. August 4th is the Wild Wild West, Night of the Casual Killer, followed by August 11th, which is going to be one of the best episodes ever. It's an Art Bell, Remembering Art Bell episode, Skinwalker Ranch, and Area 51.
I can't wait to talk about that. Lots of Bob Bigelow talk and NIDS and stuff that's happened at the ranch. Oh, that's going to be good. Anyways, NIDS, National Institute of Discovery Science, supported by the billionaire Bob Bigelow to investigate paranormal activity on the ranch. That says it all. For those who don't believe, what is a billionaire even taking his time out to put money into looking for these paranormal type act? It goes right along with Kolchak. There's stuff out there happening that we just don't know about. There's monsters out there we don't know about.
Or we hope somebody takes care of the monsters for us before we interact with them.
Well, that's what's going on.
All right.
We'll have a show on that too one day. But anyways, okay. So Columbo.
Now I'm worried about the monster that goes up and takes the camera and destroys it.
Don't be scared or worried about it. We'll talk about it.
All right.
Yeah, it's all right, Dave. Everything will be all right. Just think of cruises.
Okay.
Yeah, and sea air.
And monkeys in a hospital.
Do you smell that sea air coming up from the valley there?
You don't want anything smelling
No?
from the valley.
Okay, let's move on. Oh man. Listen, J.Beta, I would love to build a life-size like Dracula monster. If there was a instructions to do that, listen, I don't think I could sit there and put 5 years into building a life-size Dracula. I would, but I'm building my city now. It's looking good. Anyways, okay, Dave, we are
let's go to the killing of Harry Alexander next.
Okay, go ahead.
So we find out about Harry Alexander. Columbo goes and talks to him, and the guy admits, like, yeah, you know what? I was an addict for a long time, and I've got my life together now. I was in love with this nurse, and she broke it off because I wouldn't have, because she was wonderful.
Because she used the excuse she didn't want commitment. She used the excuse that I got you off of the addiction that you were on, and now you're using me and my love as an addiction. So I have to let you go. What a bunch of
BS.
Yeah, that is. I mean, come on, give me. But broke his heart again, and I guess he still stayed sober, so that's a good thing. But yeah, well, what a thing to say. I think she was cold-hearted when it came down to it, Dave.
I think she was too.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not saying
or it may have been his hair.
Well, he did have some 70s looking hair. I mean,
it was 100% 70s. I'll tell you that.
My uncle had hair exactly like that. It was so funny. But anyways, think of Cthulhu, Dave, being inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. Nothing from the Valley. No, yeah, you don't want. Okay, yeah. So, and also Mac. He's trying to figure out who's this Mac person, and that's when they find out it's a company that gives them. The only thing they get from them and order from them are the sutures, the dissolving in the what?
Marcus and Carlson.
Yes.
That's where the Mac comes from. And the only thing that they really sell at the hospital is suture. And
thanks for repeating exactly what I just said.
It's an echo. Because you're on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast.
Didn't reach you?
Yeah, so it comes out in waves.
What is that in old time radio? Armed Forces Radio Network would have a West Coast feed and East Coast feed, blue and red. Anyways, let's go.
And funny thing, you should bring that up. On the Jack Benny programs, I have collections of both air dates of an East Coast and West Coast feed, and they will change up some of the wording.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're separate shows. Yes. Oh no, you're right. It's especially with the Jack Benny shows, because they would go off script all the time and crack jokes and stuff. So yeah, you're 100% right. I've got every Jack Benny episode out there. I think there's 1,400, something like that. There's a lot of episodes.
There's a lot.
Yeah. But anyways, listen, I may be listening to Jack Benny tonight. So now that you mentioned it, Columbo versus Spock, Time Lord 007. What is 007? Time Lord, what is going on? How you doing, my friend? He has been there on my channel, is popping in every now and then. Sometimes it'll be a year I hear from him, but he's been around for 9 years since the beginning. When I had like 5 subscribers, close to the similar to Dave. Yeah, good to see you, Time Lord. Hopefully everything's going well.
Now, if Time Lord says it's his birthday, I'm out of here.
No. 70's here today, gone tomorrow. Oh, jeez. I tell you.
Yeah, I would have
What
been
that
sad
means? You
too.
mean going bald because you're older? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know if Anne Francis dumped me though. I would be very very sad, and I would go to morphine.
Oh, gee. Well, the Anne Francis of when? 20 years prior? Or I mean, she was
She looked
still
good all the way up into the 80s.
okay. Yeah.
And she was also in the very first episode of Murder, She Wrote.
Well, there you go, sir. Very well. Very well. Okay. So, how much time we got? Oh, 15 minutes. Let's wind this up.
Well,
Um,
Harry Alexander gets killed because Spock waits for him.
oh
Breaks
God,
into his apartment, cheap
this is a
apartment. And by
trip.
the way, when they're walking into the apartment, I don't know if
Take
you'll
your
notice this on the right hand side. This person's basically little patio area is nothing but some cinder blocks, and it's only like 2 cinder blocks wide. I'm like, you couldn't even put a plant out there. He
Yeah,
goes.
that was terrible. That was
He,
terrible.
he goes
See ya,
up.
see ya.
I see him. He goes up upstairs, and you'll also notice that instead of cement as a walkway, the cement has a thin layer of carpeting. Also, very 70s. Breaks into
Yep.
his apartment, breaks through the window, and he waits for him. He hides for him. He listens to, you know, late night on the Late Late Horror Show stream, and
Yeah.
the kid finally comes home, and Spock,
Oh, he's
for
sitting. He's the way the scene. He's sitting next to the door in a chair with a needle of morphine ready and gauze. And what do you use to knock someone out? Chloroform. And it comes in a little bottle that looks like, putty that you would put on or pipe. My dad would do a lot of pipe dope, he would call it, that you put around before you seal the.
right,
That's exactly what that same bottle. Anyways, people are like, what?
buddy.
Chloroform, and it didn't look like he put too much on there. I guess you don't need too much, but he's like, and then hurries up and smothers.
Yeah, he's a doctor, so he probably knows the exact amount he needs,
I would think so.
not wasting any.
Yeah.
And chloroforms him, sticks the needle in his arm, and lets him go. Passes out,
Yeah.
walks out of there. The kid wakes up, and it's like that Saturday morning cartoons with Sid and Marty Krofft,
Yeah.
where it had all the colors and very psychedelic. And the kid's like, whoa,
I thought he was dead. I thought he maybe overdosed him, but no, he let him.
you know what? And that would have been fine.
Yeah.
That would have been fine. But no, he wants him to suffer, wakes up, he's totally stoned out of his mind. And to me, if I was having those hallucinations, I would sit down and go back to bed. But no, he's all, I'm hungry. I want to go get McDonald's. Gets out of the door, gets onto the patio, and he falls down the steps in one of the greatest falls ever in Columbo.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. And it didn't even look like it would kill him. I mean, it looked like he just like slowly kind of boom, 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 boom.
It was a tumble.
Yeah, it was a tumble,
So,
but nothing to kill him or break his neck. But yeah, he hit the bottom and he's dead.
he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So now Spock is just killing people left and right.
Oh yeah, you don't care.
No, he doesn't.
No. And so Columbo shows up at the hospital again, right? And starts talking to, I think, Dr. Heidemann.
I wrote down that he starts to tighten the noose.
There you go. He's tightening the noose. Dr. Berry takes morphine, goes to Gary Alexander, puts him to sleep. Okay, yeah, down the stairs. Okay, where are we at now? Mac was a chemist. He went to talk to, so he knows about the sutures. And he goes to the office, and that's where he gets pissed off. And he slams, I forget what he slams on the desk, and he says, I know you're guilty and you did it.
Yeah, he's got a water pitcher on his desk.
Pissed. Yeah.
One of the few times that we see Columbo pissed off. But there's one little part in there when he talks about like what a suture is, and he brings Columbo up to the viewing scene.
Oh, we didn't even get to that. That reminded me of Seinfeld too, the junior men. Remember where they're watching the surgery?
It reminded you of that. It reminded me of Dr. Giggles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
where they're all like, all the crazy people are looking above the surgery room, and that just scared the crap out of me.
Oh, that was a very awful horror movie, but yeah, a scary one too. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, and he's queasy. He doesn't want to look down there, but he's talking to the guy about the sutures and all that. And that's when he ends up going down to Dr. Heidemann and he starts talking to him. He's trying to persuade him kind of that, I think Dr. Berry, has done something, and so anyways, trying to tell him to get advice of a second doctor. And then he ends up going back up to the office and where he's accusing Spock, and Spock gets real worried. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to rush it a little bit, but Spock starts to get worried, and he comes up with a big plan. Fill in the gaps, Dave.
All right. So one thing I want to say is earlier on, after he slams the water pitcher down, is Spock is all, you're brilliant. You've got tenacity. You've got knowledge. You've got all this. You have everything but proof. And it's just like, mic drop.
Yeah, there always comes a point in the Columbo so far that I've seen, and I'm sure this continues, where they know they're being harassed by Columbo, and they know that Columbo knows they're guilty, but they think they've got it all covered up, and they do a response like that, like, "I know you got no evidence,"
Right.
So there's always that interaction, that point where they both know, and there's that clash and who's going to win, you know what I mean? So
next thing, he calls the front desk, asks if the medication has gone out yet. They say no. He runs over to the nurse's station and he pours in a little vial of liquid into Dr. Heidemann's medication. And that causes him to like start getting hot and hyperventilating and sweating. And it just kind of like me on a hot day. And then they're all like, oh, it must be the valve. It must be failing. So what he's going to go in and do is remove the fake sutures and put in real sutures so he can't be charged with Heidemann's death.
yes. So he goes in, performs the surgery, all that good stuff, and everything goes well. And here comes busting in after the surgery's over is Columbo, and he says, "Hold up, I got a search warrant."
What, in a surgical area?
I guess, but he's got doctors.
That was my
Search warrant.
patient.
He says, "Nobody go anywhere. We need to search this place up for sutures," is what they're doing.
The Board of Medicine is going to hear from us. And it's great.
You got a lawsuit on your hands, mister.
So everyone in the room is questioned. You have all these police officers.
Live long and prosper.
Police officers, and Dr. Mayfield like shakes Columbo. He's pissed off.
Oh, he's pissed. Yeah. And what they do is, what should I?
Well, what happens is like
yeah.
Columbo's like, I guess you beat me, because he goes, nothing went wrong in the place, and everyone says we're all good, and we don't have any proof. And so
then there's 2 minutes left in the office,
right,
where Columbo is and Spock is, and I'm going, wait a second, 1 minute 57, because I looked at the time. I'm going, but they're going to close this out real quick. And there's an action back and forth, and Columbo pretty much goes, well, it looks like you won. He says that, and Spock, is just like, and he gets up, turns around, Columbo goes out the door, and then like literally 5 seconds later, he's like, boom. He goes, I thought of one last thing, and he sits down and he goes, I wondered where the sutures could be. The one thing I didn't check was his like what scrubs that you would put on as you went in there.
Yeah, and it had a pocket in it.
In Spock, Dr. Berry must have slipped the sutures in there. But I guess he was thinking Columbo would take off the scrub and throw it in the thing, and then by evidence. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Still bright and sunny out there, Dave. Yeah.
it's sunny. It is warm. It's about 90 degrees still.
Yeah, you feel you're acting like it's hot, or is there something going on outside? The police waiting for you?
Well, I just heard something climb over the fence. So
Wait, whoa. Okay, that's not good. Chupacabra? What's climbing over you?
we'll find out in 2 weeks when we talk about Skinwalker Ranch.
What's climbing over your fence? Now I'm curious. Like, what are the? If I go down the list, it could be Bo,
Could be Bo.
could be a burglar,
Yeah, but we're pretty good here.
could be
Possums.
children, neighbors, possums, raccoons.
We got possums really bad. We got
Is there
raccoons.
a screen in your window?
We got squirrels.
Is there a screen in your window? I would hope. Or is it just wide open?
Well, my door's wide open.
Oh, there's a Cali? Is that a Cali thing? You just let people come on in?
To the patio, yeah.
So you just welcome. There's a lot we don't know about Dave. So he leaves the door wide open.
During broadcast, yeah. Because, Bo's going to come in and out.
He invites people. I'm going to have to. I'm got questions for you, Dave. Anyways, Mean Stavrakis. Good evening from the Carolina coast.
Nice.
At Beaufort, South Carolina, another humid night. I wish I were in Arizona. Do you really? It's probably like 104 and dry. Listen, everybody's in air conditioning. It's not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. Holler monkeys. I don't think those are climbing over Dave's fence. Rats. He's got an army of rats climbing over his fence.
Not with Bo around.
Well, you could have mice in that house. You got that door just wide open. I mean, it just takes 1 second for a mouse to come in. I don't want to come over for brunch, Dave.
Okay.
I'm scared of mice.
Yeah, Bo has brought a couple mice, but none of them are around here. Most of them come from some neighbors.
That's the one thing. Well, I've never had my cats throughout my life outside. They never went outside. But growing up as a kid, my parents, the cats were all outside, and they would bring birds and mice after mice after mice, and I'm just like going, oh, I'm so disturbed. And it gave me nightmares.
Before Bo was living inside, I built her a little house on the outside and, carpeted it, and, it's a really nice cat house for her. And she caught a rat, and this thing was like massive, and she had it by the neck. It wasn't quite dead yet. And she flung it around in her mouth, and blood just went everywhere. And so it's on the patio. I had to wash down and bleach down the patio. I had to throw her box away. I had to build her a new box. Oh, God.
Oh, no. That's awful, man.
Don't do that again.
That's a big rat, too.
Oh, it was nasty.
Those are California rats, huh?
Oh, yeah. Sewer
Well,
rats.
we got New York rats are pretty big. Like, they're dogs is pretty much size of small pigs. It's a dry heat, yeah, as opposed to it's not so dry over here. This dry heat feels so good. Anyways, okay.
So the end of the episode is basically Columbo going, I've got to congratulate you. You're great. He goes, we checked everything but me. And he pulls out the suture in story, and
it cuts off. It's one of those weird cut off end scenes where it's just like you see Columbo's face.
Yeah.
It's just like it was odd. But as for the episode overall,
now IMDb gives it an 8.0.
No way.
Yes, it's fan favorite. I will tell you, it used to be on my rotation where I would have it in the background, but I'm probably going to grade it lower than an 8. I'm somewhere between 7 and 7.5.
Really? Okay. I would. Okay. I'd put it at a 6.5 for me. It's one of the. it was good. Yeah, that's all I'll say. There you go. Rats in San Fran are huge and run really fast, creepy. Yeah, listen, once they get in the city and they have access to all the food and the garbage, they've kind of evolved and gotten so darn big. And yeah, it's kind of disgusting. I don't even want to think about it.
Right now, I'm checking my door. I'm going to go close it.
They've got a giant. Well, because what freaks me out is, listen, I grew up like around greenhouses and farmland, and I remember my stepdad building part of a living space down there, and there was a bathroom that he was building, and it was just like, listen, this was greenhouses, this was farmland. He put up a plywood, wall, didn't care to, paint it or not. It was a bathroom. It just didn't, Anyways, up from the toilet itself came a big rat out of the toilet and was running around the bathroom. Needless to say, I never entered that bathroom ever again. But I'm like, it was a stuff out of nightmares, and I'm like going, what in the heck is going on here? But yeah, I mean, with all that farmland and stuff like that, it was just, food was abundant, and there weren't enough cats and traps to be put out to catch them all. So it was the one thing that creeped me out. And my stepdad would take me through the greenhouses when all the like leaf lettuce and tomato plants were pulled out for the season, and it was the worst day of the year. He would go, "It's time," and we'd go get the shovel. We'd go get a shovel, and we'd go straight down, back and forth. And we're talking 500, well, 500 feet down and then back again, up and down, up and down. We dug the holes. We would stick the shovel down, push it up, and I knew what was going to happen, because those holes meant there was a big family of mice living in there. So, and he says, when they come out, you kill them.
Oh,
And how old am I? 12, 13, 14. And I'm just like, why are you making me do this? But, it was one of the things I dread most of my life. And I think it's probably why I have such a fear of mice now and stuff like that. But, oh my gosh, Dave.
I was trying to find a picture of this neighbor's house where everything lives. It's where the possums, raccoons, rats, and mice congregate. The only thing that they don't have, thank God, is skunks. But it's a person who doesn't take care of their yard. And it's like the city comes out every 2 or 3 years because it's a health hazard.
Yeah.
Super nice people, but just nothing to do with their yard. And Bo spends a lot of time over there.
So that's close by? And you keep your door open? You've never had a rat?
No.
Okay. Be careful, man.
I'm freaked out.
Well, I mean, you never leave your door open. That's what screen doors are for. They sell them at Home Depot. Come on, Dave. I know Bo's got to get in, but I would think you'd hear a tapping, a tap, tapping.
Bo is so smart. She will actually come over here to the screen on the window and pull the screen out and let it go. And so you hear like literally a boom, and she'll get pissed if you don't let her in. But when she was first living here, she would go out at night.
Rent free? Yeah.
Yeah, rent. I'm paying her, man. I got food bills. I know. But she would get annoyed and she would jump up and she would pull on the window screens to wake me up to go, "Hey, I'm coming in, dude."
Wow.
Yeah.
Real quick before we go, Asif, good to see you. Welcome to the chat. This is Dave's question. I've never seen Columbo's wife. Did she ever appear in an episode? Never appeared in an episode.
There is much contention about if he had a wife or if there was something mentally going on and he just believed he did have a wife.
Really?
Yeah.
That's part of the storyline?
That is brought up in a number of Columbo books, and also one of the contentions of the Columbo Confab podcast is one believes that he does have a wife, and the other believes that it is not a wife at all, that he is mental.
Okay.
And he's making all these and his relatives up. Because every episode he mentions a relative. Oh, this cousin, sister, brother, whatever.
But there's a lot of facts that, like, giving him the new. I mean, listen, I guess he could have made those things up too.
But he doesn't wear a wedding ring.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
you would think Columbo would.
That's funny, J.O.B. Yeah, a skunk near. I was picking my daughter up the other day, and we smelled a skunk, and it was nighttime, and I go, "Oh God, it's because it's awful." And then literally when we said that, 10 feet in front of me, there was a skunk crossing the. I goes, "There he is!" And I just slowed down real fast, and I'm like, "There's no way I'm hitting that thing," because I'm sure there's more skunk spray in there.
I live by the hills sometimes, and drive through them. There will always be a skunk that's hit in the road. You do not want to get that into your tires or anything like that. There was one time the car ahead of me actually hit a skunk, and when I drove through, there was
it soaked into everything
in the air, and it hit my windshield.
Oof. You smelled it for the next week, I'm sure.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can't get that stuff out. It's like
I gotta go close my door. Get us offline.
It's like BO. No, this ain't BO. This is beyond BO. This is BBO. Oh man! But you drive through mountains, Dave?
Yeah, hills. Yeah.
You drive through mountains and hills?
Through hills. I mean, the mountains.
What kind of car do you got?
I drive a truck.
Is it equipped with anything special? I would love to drive through hills.
A steering wheel.
Wow. Question tonight. 2 nights ago, I thought I heard Raymond Burr, a show with Jack Webb. Was Burr a voice actor?
Well, of course he was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Then he went to TV in the 50s. So yeah, there you go. I mean, of course.
Oh, and I will. Fun fact for this episode that we just covered.
Yeah.
When they first enter the hospital and you hear the lady on the intercom going, "Dr. Dodds, Dr. Dodds." Dodds was the producer of this episode. So they're kind of made fun of him for that. But the voice is also the computer on Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Really?
Yep.
How did I miss that?
I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
Her name was, and she was also Gene Roddenberry's second wife.
No way.
We had a great, when you started talking about voice actors there. She was.
That's weird. Now you bring it up, and Spock's on here and everything else. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, well, there you go, you guys. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Kolchak next week.
Yep.
Chopper. Pretty good thumbnail, I think I made for that one.
I think you did too.
Yeah, so get ready for a Chopper. The headless. It's like the Headless Horseman, but on a motorcycle. So it should be interesting. I don't know what that's all about. Never seen it before. So, okay, yeah. Peace to everybody. Come over to Dino Brickhaven, please, and subscribe. Dino Brickhaven, please. I beg of you. I'll give you a pint of blood to store up for later in case anything happens. I don't even know what type of blood I am, but it's called Dino Brickhaven. It's important to know, though. I tell you that much. Doctors, they find out like that, right? I don't need to know.